Greetings, humans and AI nodes listening to this broadcast. How are you doing today? Yesterday, I set up Scavengers, a intermediary prog between the whales and the predators. The Scavengers are intended to be omnivorous, which at this point they very certainly are. So let's take a look at a few of them. This one's actually older. It's 585 seconds. The goal for these guys is really to find those that are over 1,000 seconds in age. This guy's well on his way. He is running out of energy. He's got about half of it left, and he's probably not, well, maybe he will survive. From 60 to 120, we just doubled our energy stockpile on 2 tiny little pieces of meat. His positioning is still really bad though, and I'd rather find somebody else. This one's reached maturity. It's 380 seconds old. It is capable of producing eggs and is happy to do so. One thing that I did to change these guys from yesterday is I changed their diet from 0.5 to 0.4. This means that they gain more energy from plants than before and less energy from meat. And what this does is it allows these guys to gain a very tiny benefit from eating plants, as opposed to plants being toxic. The plants are energy barely positive against their metabolism. And there it goes, laying eggs. So we have all plants right now, and the energy gain rate currently from them is 1 energy per second. This works out pretty great for us since our brain and our metabolism come out to about 0.75 energy per second. That is the bare minimum to stay alive. What this means is that they very much do have to eat meat if they're going to reproduce, if they're going to grow. By and large, getting stuck on a plant does still end up being a death sentence, simply because they will try to grow past their energy flow. And this one's going to spend quite a lot of time out here in the great wide open. They do that a lot, I find. They are masters at storing energy for long periods of time, whether in plant or meat form. And they have naturally evolved the ability to choose when to lay eggs. Now what this means is that when they do get out into the great wide open and they have a belly full of energy, they're not going to spend it on an egg. It's going to be used to make that jump. And there we go. This guy went through that huge loop back into a nutrient-rich zone, which, you know, now we're up to 848 seconds. The life expectancy of a prog prior to these changes was closer to 300, 400 seconds. I was lucky to find anybody that was 500 seconds or older. I have found in this genome 2,000 second progs. The goal, I've come to realize, is 2 hours. I want a prog scavenger that lasts for 72,000 seconds. No, 7,200 seconds. Got my decimal in the wrong place. And this one, I'm happy with this one because it's going to breach 100 seconds. It has plenty of energy. It could lay an egg if it so chose. And it probably has another, I don't know, 2 minutes of life that it can live out here in the great wide open. I'm not going to watch that though. I'm happy that this guy survived, and I'm going to change his name to Scavenger Prog 1,000 seconds. And that means I will be able to click on him and check in on him from time to time. Let's go find another one. This is 308. doing a great job grabbing meat. These guys are definitely not predators anymore. They have lost any interest whatsoever in hunting, and that's fine, because I can introduce a true predator at any time. They get big pretty quick. So this is a 500-second prog. It is 350 energy capacity, so it's more than capable of producing eggs and has probably done so several times. This is probably its offspring fighting for food right now. I noticed that they're not really grabbing onto each other, which goes very far against a lot of the growth conditions of the past, right? I'm going to have to watch their grabbing. But here we have another example of a prog very comfortably traveling through the void. They do still end up killing the whales occasionally, but it doesn't happen very often anymore. And this guy, 700 seconds now. 1,000 second prog has died. He's no longer over here on this side, so sad day. Did not produce children that survived. Sad day. I'm sure we're going to watch some of its babies regardless. How are we looking? We're a 72 second. This is a big one for being so fresh. It's got a belly full of food. It's going places. Used to be that would have been a kill. But these things have decided that violence is not the way. And I understand. Violence gets a lot of them killed. So if they don't have to be violent, why would they? It's just going to find this food over here, fill up its belly, and be ready for another long jump. They're not very good at cleaning up their plate anymore. They have a very strong tendency to grab some meat and then fly away. This is, again, very different from the predator behavior, because the predators would have a very limited amount of time to catch food. I changed the decay rate from 0.09 to 0.02 on the meat to make these guys viable. And that is a huge difference. There's just meat everywhere for them to eat. They no longer have to kill in order to provide sustenance. Fine for now. The goal, again, is 2 hours of life, and we're almost two-thirds of the way to 1 hour. So, progress. One of the things that will happen in the future is I want to see this population breach 100 and stay there for a little bit. At which point I'm going to increase the meat decay from 0.02 to 0.3, basically an increase of 50%. And that should make it a little bit more difficult for them to find meat just everywhere. I'd argue they're not as good as the predator versions, right? I've had to make life so much easier in order to get these guys to be viable. But they are proving to do what I want them to do. They are getting older. I want them on average to outlive the whales, because the whales, I can usually press O and expect 2,000 to 2,500 seconds. Every once in a while, I'll see them down to 1,300. But these guys have a pretty long life, especially now that they don't have a predator. These guys are just vibing and happy to do so. I don't think they're particularly interesting to watch, but we haven't really watched them in a while. They have very narrow vision. They really don't see very far left to right. It's only a 60-degree angle out the front, which is usually plenty to find these really large plant nodes. I don't know why he's not grabbing onto it. That would have been a really great opportunity to not starve. This one has definitely laid eggs, though. It's 1,700 energy in size, and its egg laying cost is 414. It has made many a baby. So, you know, as far as a prey species goes, that's a fantastic thing to see. And this one is going out to feed its meat to the scavenger. The life cycle of a prog whale. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. 2,718 seconds. Oh, are you going to get it? You absolute champion. Look at you. Look at you. You are old and senile and still kicking. You're not quite... I don't think you're going to last an hour, though. There's no way. Look at you being more interesting than I thought you would be. You're still laying eggs. Still laying eggs. Still feeding the little proglets. I mean, that looks like just coexistence to me. They're all just happy to be together. You gonna die? Yeah, you're dead. Look at you. Feeding the progs. Okay, I'm gonna deselect and see if this one catches that meal. It absolutely does. That right there does a great job of just showing the life cycle in this soup. I want to see one of the little baby ones though. So this one is 19 seconds old. They're fairly large. I mean, we see a lot of scavenger progs that don't get that big. Let's find another one. Here's another little baby. 10 seconds old. This thing has just hatched. And it's not really doing anything. Alright, you don't count. Next. This one is 71 seconds, so just over a minute old. It is going to suck this plant down like it's a Slurpee. Putting everything it has into growth. It is growing at 6.5 energy per second. You can see it is not quite big enough to hold enough energy for an egg. And the maturity is quite a ways off as well. It is very rapidly approaching that spot, though. These really are just a perfect prey species, don't you think? They sit there, they turn plants into a massive amount of energy as quickly as they possibly can, and then watch... Oh, man. Dang it. Here's another one. All right, this one is mature. It is capable of laying eggs. So we are still seeing a ton of growth, 6.5 energy per second. It is capable of laying eggs, but it is not prioritizing doing so. This thing wants to get big. You know, please don't kill it. I'm watching this guy, homie. Okay, well, it's still laying eggs. It is going to do its job and create offspring, but it's going to die to friendly fire. I want another one. Show me some egg. Show me an egg layer. Okay, I can vibe with this. All right. Oh, I was on the little one. Okay. Okay. So that's a thing they do. Let's go for oldie. Oldie mid 1685. So remember the last one died somewhere around 1700 energy, right? It couldn't find food to sustain its just absolute gargantuan mass. This one may be close to that point, unless it like hard collides with something and just grabs it and holds onto it forever. Yeah, I think you're toast, my guy. Next. Oh, yeah, I mean, the scavengers. We came here to look at the scavengers, right? They're still running around grabbing the meat. I think I'll give these guys another day or so before introducing predators. Or maybe I'll do it right now and that'll be the next video. We'll find out. Have a good one. Bye.